And let me go ahead and go to the first topic, which is Black Widow, that opened up July 9th, this past Thursday night, and it seemed like it's doing great at the box office. And I have that report right here from Variety. And it says box office Marvel's Black Widow debuts with a dazzling 80 million in theaters and $60 million on Disney Plus. And that does get me excited. That does get me excited. And again, guys, if you're watching this via live or in the replay, there's a link down to this article down in the description box below. But this is from Rebecca Rubin, and it goes on to say Disney and Marvel's superhero adventure Black Widow captured a massive $80 million in the first weekend, crushing the benchmark for the biggest box office debut since the pandemic. The film starring Scarlett Johansson is the first from the Marvel Cinematic Universe to open simultaneously in movie theaters and on Disney Plus, where subscribers can rent Black Widow for an extra $30. Disney reported that Black Widow generated more than $60 million in Disney Plus Premier Access consumer spend globally, marking the rare occasion in which the studio disclosed the profits made from streaming. I think this is absolutely fantastic, guys. I will go ahead and say that I thought that this film had a chance to make $100 million opening weekend, but it didn't hit that mark. Now, these numbers right here are still the estimated numbers. The actual numbers will come out Monday afternoon, and I may do another live to talk about that. But these estimations, they're pretty, they're 5%, they're pretty accurate or whatever. And so I also have this report. There's not this report. I already talked about the report, but this quote right here from one of the big wigs over at the studio. It says Black Widow was originally slated to premiere in 2020, but it was delayed several times due to the pandemic. There's no question it's been worth the wait, said Disney Studios content chairman Alan Bergman. Kate Shortland, Scarlett Johansson, and the Marvel Studios team have delivered an exceptional film that continues a legacy of creative excellence as the Marvel Cinematic Universe expands and enters a new era. Larry, with this great news for box office numbers, what do you make of all this, sir? What is your take?
I think this is fantastic. This is another nail in the coffin for the theaters who want to play all the BSery that they're doing. This is just another step forward in the march to full-on streaming for everything, always. Because let me tell you this, if they made $60 million from streaming, they could have easily have closed that gap if they had dropped the price from $30 down to $20. If that had been $19.99, you would have had, I bet you, they probably would have had millions more people willing to pay for it. It was that, because I'll tell you, there's something about it. If you want to sit at home and watch a movie with your girl or your wife or your kids, and you're thinking, there's two of us, $30? I don't know. But if it's only 10, if it's only 20, you're like, that's only 10 each. I can do that. That's not a big deal. I mean, you go, you spend 10 each on a burrito bowl at Chipotle's. You come back, you spend another 20 on the movie, $40. You have dinner and a movie. You're good.
Okay.
I'm telling you, I think it's that extra threshold of $30 that just feels like a lot. It just feels like a lot. Now, I will say that if they start looking at these numbers and they realize, wait a minute, we put a half-hearted, half-assed marketing push in this movie towards streaming, because they were really pushing this thing as we're back in the theaters. The theaters are back open. Go see it in the theaters. But if they really make a full-blown push into streaming to get people to pay for this on streaming, I think they might see the numbers that they typically see in the theaters in streaming. And then it's all done. Once somebody, I told you, all it takes is somebody to lay the foundation and get that marketing right. And once they get those numbers on streaming, there's no need for them to go to the theaters. Why would they?
Larry, you tricked me, man. You fooled me. I thought we was here initially with this report. I'm thinking I'm happy theaters finna open back up. He trying to put the nail in the coffin and just get them out of it. I still don't understand this business model, my brother, but I love the passion. One Take Big Dog, I'm coming to you, my brother. What do you make of this news, man? I know you
Man,
said it was going. I think you said 89 million, so you was fairly
89,
close.
man.
But yeah,
You're
how you feeling?
close.
How you feeling about all this?
Well, hopefully when we get those exact numbers tomorrow, I might be more on point with it. But I'm happy about this. I'm super excited about this. One, because I kind of feel like this was the movie that was gonna really get people back in the theaters. Uh, well, I actually went saw it in theaters on Thursday night, and I enjoyed like the experience. The theater experience was great. Everybody was happy to be back in the theater. Everybody was quiet. Like it was more quiet than a couple of other movies I recently went to see with less people. So I think a lot of people was back in the groove, and I enjoyed that. The whole 80, like I didn't even expect it to do 60 million on Disney Plus. If I'm being
Yeah,
completely totally honest, that's great. I mean, but at the same time, I'm still thinking if it doesn't go to Disney Plus, all those people who saw it there just would have went to the theater, and we definitely would have had $100 million opening. But you can also say if this would have never been open in theaters, it probably would have. You know what I'm saying? More people would have saw it at home. The $30 threshold is still quite a bit.
yeah, it
I
is.
saw it for $10, so there's no way I was about to pay that 30 and I get a better experience, you know what I'm saying, especially in the theaters for $10 rather than 30 sitting at home watching on my TV. If you ain't got one of those large TVs, there's no really no purpose in that. But yeah, I was happy to see it do these numbers. I think with this F9, all those things coming out, so I'm happy to see the direction the movie theaters are going.
Right on, man. And of course, the easy math, 60 million, divided by that, that's 2 million paid, subscriptions for the $30. 2 million buys. I imagine that those wasn't separate. A lot of that was clunked up with family and multiple people. So I'm just imagining how much Black Widow would have made at the box office if the digital choice wasn't an option. I'm confident in saying that it definitely would have made over $100 million.
But can't we say that it's true if they didn't have the theater option? Because they were already at 60. If we say, well, if they didn't offer the theatrical option and you can only get it on Disney Plus, they probably would have hit 100 million too.
I would have waited.
Yeah, man.
You think you would have waited?
I won't pay in at 30.
Yeah, but because these are my right. I'm with One Take, bro. Because if this was like Infinity War and Endgame, yeah,
Something
I
like that.
probably would pay $30. But Black Widow, even though that's my ish, you know what I'm saying? These are my most anticipated films. Even when we was chatting over the past few days and that little thing, I was hesitant. I was just like, $30. Do I want? Well, actually, I'm sorry. I was having that conversation with Eman. I was like, Eman, I don't know, man. If I want to spend this $30, I want to see it again. I want to do a spoiler review for the film, but $30, I just don't know if I want to do that. And that's when I sent you guys an image of me getting my reserved seat in the back corner of a movie. Well, I was by myself in the corner, well, nobody by me. But yeah, man, I don't know, man. Hold on, Infinite Science. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Hope you get my message earlier today. Infinite Science, where did you send that message? Was it an email? Was it a DM? Let me know, man. And thank you so much for the super chat. I do appreciate it. But yeah,
it's just a hard mental number to get past. It just feels like a lot.
What's that?
30. It just feels like a lot.
Yeah.
It does. Go ahead.
I mean, interrupt you. Sorry, man. But if you have a family, if you have kids, for instance, and you want to be able to watch this movie with your children and enjoy all kinds of food and drinks and whatever else, $30 is not bad. Not only because you get to watch the movie in the convenience of your own home, you can pause it, play it, rewind it, and it's yours. You get the movie. You can watch that movie 100 times between the time. You can watch it forever because eventually it's just going to come out on Disney Plus.
Right. And I was going to say the $30 is only a rental, which is silly because you get to rent it for 30 days, but then it goes away and comes back in like 60 days or something. It's I don't know, Larry. I don't know, man. I'm just.
I actually didn't know you can rent it for 30 days. I thought
I
it was
may
gonna
be wrong
probably
because
today.
I may be wrong, but because all these different streaming platforms are, all the different uh little fine print and stuff like that, it can get confusing.
From my understanding, once you pay the $30, it's yours. Like you get to watch it as much as you want, as many times as you want, and then eventually it comes to everybody on streaming. But in between that time, like let's say if it takes 60 days, between then and between the time you paid for it and the time that goes to regular everybody else, you just get to watch it as much as you want. I mean, you can watch it as much as you want after it gets to everybody else, but that's my understanding.
I got you, man. I couldn't read that first part. Black Widow marks a massive win for movie theaters, which has been struggling to recover from the mass closures and capacity restrictions that decimated their business during the pandemic. It's also notable because it displays that movies can bring in solid box office receipts despite being available on streaming services at the same time. However, David A. Gross, who runs the movie consulting firm Franchise Entertainment Research, notes that Marvel movies are in a league of its own at the box office. Not every new release has the built-in fan base needed to replicate those results. In total, the 24 films that populate the commercial unrivaled Marvel Cinematic Universe have brought in $22 billion theatrically since 2018. Certainly, the figure would be high if theaters were open, if there was zero concern with COVID, and if there weren't a streaming option, Gross says. For now, those impediments make Black Widow's opening all that more impressive. And that's very, very, very true, man. I don't think any other film would warrant this massive opening. Not even if it's Mission
They should have
Impossible.
done, man. I think what Disney should have done is they should have went ahead and dropped the price down to $19.99, because not only would it have gotten more people to pay for the movie, but I think it would have probably have gotten more subscribers in there, people that were signing up just to watch it and pay for that movie. And maybe they could even have done something where pay for Black Widow, you get an extra month free or something, But they could have at least dropped it to $19.99. It would have got more people paying for it, more people signing up for the service. And if you can do that, if you can do that for 2, 3, 4, 5 movies in a row where you pay $19.99, and then you have your next big blockbuster, you get something else in there big, whether it's like the next Black Panther movie or the next Captain Marvel or something, the next Star Wars, then you start to bump the price up and you tell people either one, you have to have like a premium tier of service to get to even access this rental, or you have to pay $30, because then you start getting people used to the idea of paying for these movies at home. And then you raise the price on them a little bit. But now, $30 out the gate, that just feels like a lot.
It just depends on your situation. I respectfully disagree, but also it just depends on the situation you're in. Because if it's at least 2 people watching the movie at home, it's a win to me. $15 per person I'm already gonna I paid $12 when I went to go see it. So if I'm gonna pay $3 more at the crib, that's a win for me. So if I can get a date or a homeboy or something, my brother to come through, it's a win. Especially if you have a family, it's a super win. But if you're doing it by yourself, it's a loss. So you just kind of have to weigh it there. But I want to show you this right here, man.
Well, Sweet November just gave you your ticket price back right there.
Oh my God. I'm gonna get
she
that.
Just took you to the movies.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sweetie Pie. Let me just look at this real quick. So it's $158 million worldwide. But if we go to Wikipedia, because if you look here, it doesn't show a production budget. But if we go to Wikipedia, it says that this movie costs $200 million to make. Right there, budget $200 million. So for the studios to feel like this got a respectable profit, rule of 3, it has to make $600 million worldwide. Do you really think that will work, Larry? And I'm just asking you because you're passionate about streaming and staying home. Do you really think that will?
Do I think it could work?
Yes. You think it can they can generate $600 million worldwide sales if they do this full out streaming release as you may be suggesting?
I do, but I think they have to market it in such a way that people are willing to pay that. I think just going in there with sort of an attitude of somewhat arrogance to say that, oh, well, this is a Marvel movie. Of course, people are going to want to pay $30 for it. I think that's a little bit of an arrogant attitude that's going to keep people from wanting to pay because people don't want to pay $30. But I think if you drop the price to just below that mental threshold, if you say this movie's $19.99, people are thinking that's less than $20. I can pay less than $20 for this. It cost me $20 to go to an IMAX movie. I can pay this and be at home in the comfort of my own home. I don't have to worry about paying for a $9 tub of popcorn or a $7 soda, and you can enjoy the movie at home, and watch it over and over again. But I think that at 30, unless you're a family, if you're a family and you have kids, then it's an obvious easy choice, $30, no problem. But if it's just you at home by yourself, I mean, my wife doesn't care about Black Widow. So, I mean, if I'm written it for me, and I don't want to pay $30 for it.
Let me go ahead and grab this real quick. Sweet November, I do appreciate it. You know what we got to do for $20. Thank you so much, Sweet November 20, Sweet November 79, $20 catching the Sunday live. Hey, good evening, gentlemen. I'm watching Black Widow Tuesday on my Disney Plus. So is my son, who is overseas. So that $30 is equal to he and I going together to see it.
I like it.
I ain't mad at you, ma'am. I'm not mad at you. And thank you so much for that super chat. I do appreciate it. And also we got Deuce Jim in the
building. What a money reside. What a money reside. What a money reside. What a money reside. Okay.
Deuce GM $10. I love watch you guys. Some of us with 85-inch TVs def jump at the op to watch at Blockbuster at the crib. I ain't mad at you. I drop like 100 at the theater anyway on those premium experience tickets. You probably got a family. I ain't mad at you, man. If you got an 85-inch, I'm pretty sure your sound system is hitting pretty nice too.
If he has an 85-inch and he's watching us right now, I bet you our heads look big as hell.
Right on. But thank you, man, for the super chat. I think we got another one. But while I'm pulling this up, another thing, Larry, what was I gonna say, man? About this. Yeah, has it worked before though? Corella was premium price. Raya at the Last Dragon. Was Luca free in one take, or was it you had to pay $30?
I think that was free.
No, Luca was 30.
Oh, was it?
Oh, yeah. So that's three properties right there.
Mulan.
Mulan. That's four films. Hold on. This is the first time out. This is out of those are the first four. Black Widow is the fifth, the premium thing that Disney has done. This is the first time they've released their numbers. So that tells me that those other films perform poorly with the $30 premium access. OneTake, you disagree?
Oh no, I agree. No, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Like it wasn't those other ones at $30 wasn't flying. And like there's no way Disney was gonna be like, well, we know those films were just kind of like basically like standalone films, other than Mulan, you had the animated. But Black Widow, we knowing this is connected to like the Marvel Cinematic. Granted, it doesn't push that whole universe forward, but we know it's a part of that cinematic universe. So they knew that there is no way we about to release this for less than we released the other ones. That wouldn't have made any sense.
Yeah, and actually, I'm thinking the point I was trying to make is not making sense because that would warrant the argument I just made would warrant what Larry suggesting to lower the price to $19.99. So
I get that.
See, you're coming over to my side. I'm not even trying.
Listen, I see where you're going with it, but those are different properties, man. They're not gonna perform the same way.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think Black Widow kind of justifies that $30 price range for them, especially since they're like, okay, we made $60 million off Black Widow, a character that everybody know is dead. It's not pushing anything forward. So you mean that there's no way we're gonna be like we coming out with a Black Panther 2 or a Captain Marvel? We're gonna be like, oh, we're gonna give you this for $19.99.
I feel you, man.
Some of those other ones, maybe, yeah, but not Black Widow.
Here's the thing, though, right? Is when they came out, when they decided they were gonna release these movies, Black Widow, Cruella, Luca, Ray, this happened as sort of just a a response to the pandemic. They were saying, okay, well, we didn't have a plan to release these on Disney Plus right away. They had planned for theatrical releases, and they probably would have showed up on Disney Plus 6 months later. And as we all know, when they are actually planning these movies, when they're planning production, they're also planning the marketing behind these movies at the same time. And they had to scrap all that marketing and then decide to figure out how they were going to manage to get these on streaming and do some marketing and whatever else. Black Widow, as we know, they had release dates and then they postponed it. All of this stuff with Black Widow has been sort of like haphazard. And so I think if they have a movie, if they get a big blockbuster movie and they say from the very conception of it, this is going to be a streaming movie and we are going to market it as that, and they design their whole marketing plan, their whole marketing scheme around a good online streaming push, I think the numbers will do really well. I think what we've seen so far is really a half-assed marketing scheme because it was all sort of put together just haphazardly because of COVID. I don't think they plan to do any of this stuff with these movies.
I hear you, man. Let me grab this real quick. From Easy Kane. What are we gonna do?
Yes!
Thank you so much, Easy Kane 49 Super Chat. They should have gave us a discount of the next premiere movie. I thought I was gonna be able to watch Cruella 2. 20 would have been cool. Yes, it would, man. Yeah. I don't know if you're a man or woman. I'm sorry, but thank you for the super chat. I do appreciate it. Go ahead, Larry.
I want to say Disney. I just want to say Disney. If you're watching this, whoever you hired to cut those Cruella trailers, I'm sorry, I don't know who you are. You're probably gonna hate me for saying that. You need to fire them folks because they did that movie an incredible disservice. I watched that movie and it was absolutely amazing. That movie was I mean, I have so much stuff on my list that I just generally don't go back and watch movies a second time unless it's really great. And I watched Cruella 2 days in a row. It was fantastic. And I think I don't know if you remember when we talked about it on the show, you asked, you guys plan on seeing this? But when you showed us a trailer, I was like, no, don't plan on watching. I didn't even look at my demographic. It looked terrible. And I watched it. I was like, this movie's awesome.
Right on. Well, guys, let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. But before I do, I always like to show this stuff right here. Right now, a Black Widow is at 80% with 319 reviews. More than 5,000 for verified ratings from the audience. It's at 92. So that's dope. Again, right now it's at $158 million worldwide. And cinema score, it is an A-. And so it's doing good across the board, critically, commercially, and all that good stuff. And to be honest with you, I couldn't be any happier. Or I probably could be happier if it, reached $100 million opening weekend. But you know what I'm saying?
I did want to ask you what you guys thought about it because I didn't watch any reviews on it until after. I wanted to watch the movie first, and I just watched it yesterday. So I wanted to see the movie before I watched the reviews.
I liked it. I gave it an 8.5.
I enjoyed it.
You gave it a what?
8.5 out of 10. And
really?
I do agree with you as far as the villain could have been stronger because I know you sent me that message or whatever. And I didn't get to respond, but yeah, I liked it. I liked it.
It felt like honestly, it felt like an early MCU film in a way where like you have kind of like an Iron Man or Captain America, where you have like the leads are strong and you got some pretty cool side characters, and then the villain is not all that great. You know what I'm saying? Because Marvel is not known for their villains actually being good. I mean, out of the entire MCU, you got Thanos, Killmonger, and possibly Loki. You know what I'm saying? So the villains in Marvel movies never like really impressed me anyway. So that didn't bother me, but at the same time, I had like no connections to Taskmaster, and so it didn't, get to me too much.
Right on.
Yeah, see that part kind of bothered me that they didn't have a strong villain for this because it felt like in a lot of ways it was just a bunch of running around. Like I thought, don't get me wrong, I found the movie entertaining because I thought that the action was on point. That was solid. There was great fight scenes, all kinds of great explosions and whatnot. All that stuff was wonderful. but I really needed like something I needed something for them to really to draw them all together as like a bad guy to fight. And I don't feel like we really got that much with them. So anyways, I thought what's her name was fantastic. The woman that the character Yelena, I thought she was great.
Yeah.
Oh, she had a ton of one-liners and they were funny. She was funny.
Yeah. Love that.